So, I guess we'll see if this works or not. The arcade mage from the well-read Mage, checking out Dawn of Man from Madruga Works, which is being released on the North American store for the PlayStation Store on January 6, 2020. So, I thought I would at least play the tutorial to kind of get a general overview of the game and how it plays, and kind of see how it fares when compared with other Sims, survival games, RTSs, stuff like that. Like, not necessarily like StarCraft, more like, Civilization and other games to where you are essentially on an overworld map trying to survive. So I guess what we'll do here is check out the tutorial to see how the game plays. And you can hear my fish tank, but that's okay. In the game, you control a band of ancient humans striving for survival. This tutorial explains the basics. You can check the in-game help for more advanced directions. That I can certainly do. Move the camera with the left stick, rotate the camera with the right stick, and zoom the camera with L2 and R2. That Your people will need a constant supply of food to stay alive. One of the more predictable sources of food is fish from rivers and lakes. To send people to fish, select a river, then press the fish button. Ooh, this is kind of... Oh! This is actually kind of interesting. I mean, admittedly, I haven't played a... Yeah, that's what I like. Give me trophies for doing nothing. Alright. Y'all go fish. In general, you can assign tasks to your people by selecting objects like trees, rivers, animals, structures. Then choosing one of your options in the selection panel. Going to get flint and some sticks. Well, we're gathering, and I guess we're hunting fish, so that kind of fills in both requirements for hunting and gathering. Back up. Yeah, sticks. Oh yeah. I can't wait to murder one of those. Now, actually, this is kind of interesting where you can actually select different parts of the river. Granted, I haven't played a lot of different Civilization games in recent years insofar as like PC gaming is concerned. Not that I don't like PC gaming, I'm just more of a console gamer. But I think that's kind of interesting how you can, if nothing else, choose different portions of the river. Of course, then the question is whether or not certain sections like this would get depleted. So then you have to go down here, even though it's a moving body of water, but... Wait for your people to get 1 unit of raw fish, sticks, and flint. Use the D-pad to adjust game speed. Go a little faster. Of course, the irony is I hate being micromanaged at work. Yeah, it is. Too much micromanagement is tedious and inefficient. Work areas are a way to give general commands to your settlement that people will perform continuously. You can specify a location, a resource limit, and the max number of people performing the action at one given time. Oh my goodness. Hi, Belle. That is my cat. So if you hear purring, that is from her. Let's see. Okay, this I like. Alright. Actually, I would rather do that. Plenty of sticks over here. Get those sticks. And additionally, one of the reasons I wanted to play and review this game was simply because by default only 1% time will go to any given work area, but you can increase this if required. Okay, this is a level of micromanagement I actually enjoy because it's not where you're having to worry about every single unit, but at the same time you're given a decent level of control over your population and determining what they do and what resources you get. Allow 3 workers in the gather sticks work area. Alright. Oops, no. There. Oh, good. Oh, geez. There we go. Wait for people to get 3 units of sticks and flint. Press the D button to rapidly increase game speed to 8 times. Go up to 4. Anyway, like I was saying, one of the reasons I wanted to play this game is simply because I played, like, what was it? Star Wars... basically the RTS, Command and Conquer for Star Wars, Command and Conquer, StarCraft, Civilization games. Now that you have some raw resources, let's craft some hunting tools with them. The main crafting structure in the Stone Age is the Crafter. To build one, open the menu with the L1 button and select the build option. The Crafter can be found under the production category. Ooh, skill trees. Actually, not skill trees, just... Oh, geez. That's a lot of buildings. But I grew up playing this genre of games quite a bit, and additionally, games involving like the Neolithic Age and being able to hunt and mercilessly murder these things and turn them into meat and products. Generally, like the Neolithic Age, Iron Age, stuff like that I've always enjoyed. And also, when I was going to school, I took a lot of classes in anthropology, and so this is just a theme and subject matter I enjoy in addition to a genre I enjoy, and Magruder Works was kind enough to provide a key for this game for me to be able to play it and stream it. Was one of the options. I didn't have to, but I kind of wanted to stream it just to kind of get a feel for actually talking while playing a video game, because even though I have a podcast, that's a little more structured, whereas this is sort of just playing a game and at the moment talking to nobody. If nothing else, to provide a review for this game and see how it compares with other video games within the genre. And one thing it'll be interesting to see is knowledge +1. That's usually a pretty good resource in pretty much any RTS style game, because most of that will probably go towards skill trees, going towards constructing more complicated units and complicated buildings. To craft tools, select the crafter, then click on a tool recipe. The crafting task will be added to the queue. Let's craft some wooden spears to hunt animals. Yes, gonna kill me some of those. Hmm. Well, I had one person real quick, so... Good. Need one of those. And that's actually in keeping with archaeological findings from the time period, getting flint and napping it into essentially either spearheads or axe-like cutting tools, and generally using those as sort of like the Swiss Army knife of the Neolithic age. And each culture had its own style of napping, and so once you kind of get a good, kind of like a thumbprint or fingerprint, so once you kind of get a good idea of what a particular culture does when they're napping their spearheads or their bifaces or their axes or anything like that, then if you find those in different geographical regions from where they may have been, that can give you a good clue that that particular civilization could have been in that region at a certain point in time, which can kind of give you an idea of the flow of people over the course of time, and potentially even the migration of napping technology, because that is also how they can kind of track the movement of peoples across continents, and also trade between different civilizations is the trade of technology. Even though you wouldn't think that napping flint would be something that needed to be traded or was a technology, it was, at least back in the Neolithic age. I've produced one item, so what am I supposed to do? Oh, 3. Okay, so I've done one. Um, there we go. Alright. So go up to 8 speed here just to kind of get through this a little bit quicker, because obviously we're having to craft the raw materials in order to craft the weapons, which is also pretty similar to a lot of RTSs in that you are getting collecting raw materials to craft raw things to make more complicated things. Which I guess basic thing to complicated thing is, in short, what most RTSs are. Hi, Bell. Yes, you are happy that I'm in here. Hunting was a tricky business in the Stone Age. Killing a large animal with sticks and stones was no easy feat. That's why you had atlatls to increase your range. Use primal vision to find easy prey, highlighted in green. Avoid large animals and carnivores until you have the right tools and manpower. That's kind of cool. To hunt an animal, select it, then press the hunting button. R3 button. Hey, this tree's in green. I could hunt it. I guess that means it's easy to cut down? Hmm. Or... Or... Well, it's... What would that be? I might say... Megaloceros. interestingly enough, whenever they find bones in essentially the garbage cans of the Neolithic Age, typically in their fire pits, they would leave a lot of bones or shells if we're near a river. Um, the feet of an animal, amongst other things, is a pretty good tell on what type of animal they were hunting. It also gives an idea of the... Curious if anybody's hunting. But anyway, the type of claws and or feet that the animal had was... Ooh, hold on. I'll shut up. That was pretty easy. Once the animal has been hunted, your people will butcher it and bring the resources to camp. Better bring it all back. You can use all that. When hunting in this manner, your people will decide how many of them to send based on the difficulty of the prey. That's actually kind of interesting in that they have algorithms to determine that, or it just might be a basic algorithm depending on the difficulty of the animal and how many people you have. Sometimes you might want more control over your people's actions. Hold down the R1 button and activate the advanced selection mode. Okay, good. That basically allows you as much control as you want. R1, hold R1 for advanced selection. Bam. Hey, come back. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey. You hunted it, but you're not... Did I select a dead animal? Use advanced selection mode to select two adults. Okay. So do you have to hold it? See, right here I'm not exactly sure what it's asking. That's what's frustrating. I'm still not exactly sure. I'm still not exactly sure what I did or how I. That's gonna need some practice. One of the resources you obtain from animals are raw skins until you piss on them to use the ammonia to cure them and sit them out in the sun. That's actually one of the tanners actually back in the 1800s, and even during Roman times, you could actually get paid money to urinate into a basically clay urn because tanners would use it to cure skins and stuff like that and make leather. You gotta clothe the Roman army somehow. One of the resources you obtain from animals are raw skins. They're used to craft clothing and build structures, among other things. However, raw skins cannot be used directly, because they're gross. You have to dry them first. In order to do this, you need to build skins dryers. Okay, nice. Additionally gross. How about put them right here? Doesn't do a whole lot of good to skin an animal if you're just going to leave it out. Now the question is, well, how do you get more inhabitants? I must construct additional pylons. Fair enough. Cool, okay, sweet. These are both built. I got my skin from my animal I killed on there drying, so it can be cured. Dry 2 skins. I'm not sure why they have 2 skins, but I guess one big animal would make 2 skins, I suppose. Oh, that's good. Like, you can stop it. Which I would assume most would have that. Okay, still tutorial, so... Because I'm at the point I'm already wanting to start building additional structures so I can store additional materials, so I can craft additional things in order to... Oh, that is cool. Oh, yeah. Except for what you are. Tech trees, yes. The tech trees must flow. Far more in depth than I was initially thinking up front, because you're going to have the changing of seasons, and so you're actually leaning more towards a survival sim, which is, you know, as partially what they book this as, but it does have real-time strategy elements to it. I mean, tech tree, I mean, it's all there, civilization style games. But it forces you to think not only for the immediate needs of your civilization, but their future needs, because at least if like Civ or like Command and Conquer or a lot of the other ones, I guess Majesty, showing my age here, um, you don't necessarily have to worry about changing environments and adjusting your needs to them. Generally, you have a map with a specific amount of resources, and if you're competing with other players or AI, which I'm assuming at some point there'll be rival tribes you have to worry about in this game, you're competing over resources. But it's interesting that seasons are accounted for. And it did say earlier in the tutorial that different foods are only going to be available for certain seasons, which, depending on what you need to craft, that may or may not affect the strength of your tribe. But no, what it interested me is that all the animals are kind of doing their bird, doing their own thing, even though here we go, in case you're wondering what the game is about. In Dawn of Man, you've got a settlement of ancient humans and their struggle for survival. You will have to hunt, gather, craft tools, fight, research new tech, and face the challenges of the environment. Speaking of tech, let's go to the tech tree. Bone tools. That's pretty metal. There's tanning, so... Oops, what'd I do? See, here's what I'm having. It's like I'm trying to determine, like, okay, if there's another tribe that's going to try and invade our settlement, what's the best way to lay this stuff out in order to protect it? I'm going to kind of go with the storage houses behind the production facilities. I mean, it is towards the river and the mountains, so that does kind of provide a pinch point. Hopefully I don't have to worry about the river flooding. That would be actually kind of interesting if it had disasters like SimCity or any of the other ones like that. It's also kind of neat that if the stuff is there and it needs to be done, they kind of do it on their own, which is nice. You can kind of... The good thing about Civ games or survival games or RTS is the blend between autopilot but also micromanagement. Because see, I built it and I don't have to tell them to use it. That's nice. I don't have to assign anybody to it. And there's general areas where they go gather resources if they don't have anything else to do. Of course, the question is what happens when I run out of these handily nearby resources. I suppose I can cut trees down. Where the heck were they coming from? Good thing it's not raining. So it looks like you can't build resources in this game. Or at least units, I should say. I'm sure you can use tech trees to upgrade your units, but it's not like StarCraft where you can just build a facility and just pump out as many basic units as you want. Or in Command & Conquer if you have the different specialized units wherever you build the specialized buildings and the tech trees. So at least in this one you have to have certain population needs or requirements in order for it to grow. So that's more like SimCity, in that your city in SimCity, depending on the crime and pollution rates and the balance between commercial and industrial residential, that can help your city grow. So it's kind of similar here in that you have to have enough room for them, which is no different than creating new zones in SimCity, but you're also having to have the parameters in which your people operate to be in high enough welfare for them to actually want to join. So get a nice drum circle going. So for the one person in here, if my microphone is working, playing Dawn of Man in the tutorial right now, just kind of get a general idea of how this game plays and the style of RTS this game is. It's more of a survival game than a straight RTS where you're competing against other artificial intelligence or other players, competing against the environment primarily and trying to ensure your people survive. Actually more like SimCity, really, with a Neolithic skin over it, but also more ingrained in how Neolithic life actually worked. New humans will now join your settlement. Note that your settlement can also grow when your people reproduce. Okay, that's also good to know. This plays a more important role when you reach large populations. Reminds me of Fallout Shelter a little bit. Okay, for the one person that's joined me, that was the end of the tutorial. But essentially, it's giving the basics of how to build buildings, how to gather resources, how to turn those resources into items, and essentially how to start the beginnings of your tribe in order to expand it. What I like about this game is it has tech trees, as any good RTS should. And also, insofar as at least as the tutorial depicts it, actually it pays, I would say, a good deal of respect and attention to, and they're gone, Neolithic life and how Neolithic populations crafted their materials, how they gathered it, and also just this actually having animal species from that era that actually existed in the game as well. So that was the tutorial. We're about 37 minutes in. What I'm going to do here is probably take a break and then on the next stream start a new game and just kind of go from there. This is the Arcade Mage from the Well-Read Mage. You can check out a wide variety of reviews on the wellreadmage.com. It is a global collaboration of writers. Anybody can join and write for it and write reviews for games that they want to write for. We have lots of fun stuff going on. You can go to thewellreadmage.com and at thewellreadmage on Twitter to get more information. And this is The Dawn of Man by Madruga Works, and more information can be gathered at Madruga Works on Twitter and on their website. Again, this is the Arcade Mage, and thank you for the 2 people that stopped by.